All right, let's dive right into this explainer. If you're teaching fourth grade, you know the struggle. Getting kids to weave facts from sources into their own original fiction without them just copying the text word for word. It is a massive leap from third grade, and honestly, it can feel totally overwhelming for everyone involved.
So today, think of me as your virtual literacy coach. We're going to walk through an incredible roadmap called the Character Kid Framework. We'll hit the differentiation challenge, break down the 3 tiers of writers, look at the core narrative arc, figure out how to weave in those sources, and finally, wrap up with evaluating their writing.
Starting with Section 1, the differentiation challenge. Let's be real. Teaching narrative writing with sources is incredibly tough, especially because you've got students sitting in the exact same room operating at vastly different reading and writing levels.
How do we actually teach them to blend facts into fiction without just straight-up copying? That is the million-dollar question, right? When we ask young writers to use an informational text as inspiration, they usually do one of 2 things. They either totally ignore the source and write whatever wild story they want, or they lift the text directly, and suddenly your creative story turns into a dry book report. We absolutely need a way to scaffold this so every single student can succeed.
Which brings us to Section 2, 3 tiers of writers. This is where we build our foundational solution and make differentiation totally manageable.
First up is the intervention tier. Now, this is designed specifically for your below grade level writers who really need that extra support. We want to build their confidence, right? So we use full sentence frames. For example, to kick off the story, the frame is literally just "it all started when," and they fill in the blank. Plus, to keep their cognitive overload low, these students only have to plot out 2 rising action events before hitting their climax. It gives them a really clear, achievable path.
Then we have your on-level students, your typical fourth graders. Here, the expectations shift just a bit. Instead of full frames, they transition to partial frames. These guide their thinking, but don't do the work for them. Think of prompts like, "Every morning, blank would blank." We're also stretching their narrative muscles more. They need to map out 3 rising action events, which lets that story tension build up before they hit the climax.
Finally, we have the enrichment tier for your gifted and talented or above grade level writers. These kids use highly flexible frames. We're challenging them to open their stories with action, maybe a sound or even an eternal thought. But here is the real game changer for this group. They have to include a synthesis reflection at the very end. That means they have to connect their character's lesson directly back to the source text's big idea.
Moving to Section 3, the core narrative arc. Now, despite all these different scaffolds, there's one common thread uniting everyone.
Every single student, regardless of their tier, has to master these 6 chronological stages. It's the skeleton of a good story. They start by grabbing the reader in the orientation, then move through the rising action, straight to the climax. After that, they show the immediate aftermath in the falling action, wrap the problem up in the resolution, and finally share the character's realization in the reflection.
And this perfectly breaks down how that rising action scales in complexity. The skeleton is identical for your whole class, but by simply tweaking the required number of events and the depth of that final reflection, you're differentiating instruction seamlessly while teaching the exact same core lesson to the room.
All right, Section 4, weaving in source material. This is absolutely crucial, folks. How do we teach them to actually use the text? Well, the framework gives us 3 explicit, repeatable methods to integrate those source ideas.
Method number 1 is the factual anchor. This is perfect for grounding a made-up story right from the jump with a true detail. For example, let's say you're using a curriculum source called Rivers of Plastic. It explains how plastic travels from city streets to storm drains and eventually the ocean, breaking down into microplastics. A student can grab that one fascinating fact and build their entire opening scene around it.
Check out this excerpt from our enrichment mentor text, Smaller Than a Grain of Rice. You can see exactly how a student slipped that factual anchor right into the orientation. Those, the teacher said, are microplastics, pieces of plastic smaller than a grain of rice. Notice how it doesn't sound like an encyclopedia. It just reads like natural dialogue in a science class, setting the stage perfectly.
The second method is the borrowed problem. This is where students take a conflict directly from the source text to drive their rising action. Say they read the true story of Marina the sea turtle, who accidentally swallowed a plastic bag because it looked like a jellyfish. A student can borrow that exact scenario and have their own fictional character encounter an animal trapped by plastic on the beach.
Now, while they're borrowing these problems, you've got to explicitly teach them craft moves, or else it just devolves back into a summary. Show them how to use dialogue to advance the story.
Teach them show, don't tell, like describing a character staring at a pale shape in the water. Bring in sensory details like the smell of salt water and bleach in an animal rescue center, or figurative language like resting calm as a stone. These are the craft boosters that make the borrowed problem actually feel like a real narrative.
Our third method is the parallel solution. This simply means having your characters solve their problem in a way that echoes the source text. For instance, the curriculum features a real-life class that cleaned up Sandy Cove by counting trash, doing a Saturday cleanup, and petitioning the city for bins. Your student can just mirror that exact same winning strategy, but apply it to their own fictional setting.
Looking at the mentor texts side by side shows how different tiers handle this. An intervention student might write about a character cleaning up just one little corner of a local park creek with their best friend. Meanwhile, an on-level student might have their character organize the entire soccer team to clean up a massive city block lot. The complexity of the scene scales up, but the core strategy, mimicking the source's solution, stays exactly the same.
All right, final stop. Section 5, Evaluating Student Writing. So, how on earth do you fairly and accurately grade these highly differentiated narratives? If you have 3 different tiers of writers in one room, how do you keep your grading consistent?
The secret is the standardized 4-point rubric. It breaks everything down into 4 clear categories: narrative structure, source use, development and craft, and language and conventions. This ensures you're looking holistically at the whole shebang, from how well they completed the narrative arc to how seamlessly they wove in that factual anchor or borrowed problem. But there's a golden rule here. You must evaluate the narrative structure based on the specific tier you assign that student. So an intervention student gets a perfect score in structure for nailing just 2 rising action events and a basic reflection. But an enrichment student, they only meet those expectations if they pull off 3 events plus that complex synthesis reflection. The tool completely adapts to the tier.
I want to leave you with this thought. We often treat narrative writing as purely imaginative and source-based writing as this purely academic, stiff thing. But if a student can master bridging the two with this differentiated formula, what else can they achieve? Armed with this tiered framework, you literally have the power to turn every single 4th grader into a confident storyteller who anchors their imagination in the real world. Just think about what that unlocks for them next. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and happy teaching.